Aloha, and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Yay. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So today a title was coming to me. Isn't that exciting? Because normally I just have no idea what I might be talking about. You know, lots of things come up during the day, all kinds of different teachings. And as the teachings are coming up, there's all these realizations that I might think of wisdom dialogues, of saying something in wisdom dialogues, so I don't really know what's going to go on with that teaching. You know, I don't know when it's going to come back around. I don't know. And that's kind of, you know, these teachings, they just come around as they do. They just come around as they do. So the title that came to me was The Happy Teacher. Happy teacher. Happy to teach. Being happy to teach. Yeah. You know, it seems really difficult at first, this new kind of teaching. The first kind of teaching we give ourselves is the teaching about the world. It's all about the world. It's all making the world appear real. It's making our body appear real to ourselves. And then a new kind of teaching comes in. At some point, it may not be in the current lifetime, but a new kind of teaching is, you know, I've heard it called phase 2, or we call it phase 2, a new kind of teaching, where you're taking the teachings of truth and you're applying them to what you already taught yourself. So you're using, it's kind of like using the teachings of truth as almost like a light to shine on those teachings that you made for yourself. Because what the illusion is showing always is playing out all of the things that we've already taught ourselves. It's just playing out those things. And the teachings of the truth just totally turn that teaching on its head. It's like it resolves that. It resolves that conflict. It resolves that thing that you taught yourself. You know, it's just step by step as the perception keeps going on and on. It's for teaching and learning. And once you accept the teaching, teachings of the true teacher, the one who knows you as you are, who doesn't know you as you think you are. That teacher knows that you think you're like that. Okay, fine, you think you're like that. But that teacher knows that that's not who you are. And that's your inner teacher I'm referring to. So you take the teachings of that inner teacher, which has always also been called the Holy Spirit, the Great Comforter. I've heard it referred to as the wise woman within. You can do it how you want. No one minds. Well, people act like they mind, but they don't mind. I guess some people will kill you over that kind of stuff, but yeah, but they actually don't mind. It's funny. It's just it's a show. It's a thing that's appearing on the surface. And the reason that teaching feels difficult at first is that there's great resistance in your own mind to what you're teaching. It's not in the people around you. That's the thing. It's not really in the people around you. It looks like the people around you are resistant to your teaching, but it's actually you. That's just how it looks for a little bit. That is how it looks for a little bit when you don't know. It looks as if it's the other people around you that are not getting it. But it's not true. Even the other people around you, they're there for you. They're there to support your teaching and learning. Everyone is. Remember, whatever you teach, you learn. It's not like you need to teach someone something. For a while, when I was getting that message about being happy to teach, it's like, this is a pain in the ass. Why was I even given this kind of task? That's for other people can do that kind of stuff. I'm not really interested in that. And, then it really lightened up when I realized, oh, I've been teaching myself the whole time anyways, and there's only myself to teach. It's not like I have to teach other people. It's all for me. Even their reaction to me, that's for me. So there's nothing that I need to do here. Nothing that I have to do like on my own. And that really lightened it up for me. And it doesn't even apply to doing wisdom dialogues or anything like that. You're teaching and learning all the time, whether you are doing any kind of some kind of formal teaching or anything like that. The teaching and learning, that's occurring all the time. That's occurring all the time. Oh, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hooray. So it comes down to, what are you using this for? You have two choices. You could teach yourself, the truth. You could say you can teach yourself the truth, or you can teach yourself that illusions are true. And, the way that you teach yourself of the truth is just opening up to it. It's just opening up to it. That teaching is always there. You can say these thought systems are side by side. There's a thought system of the truth, and there's the thought system of fear or evil or devil or whatever you want to say like that. It's like truth, love, God, fear, evil, devil, whatever, say that there's these columns. That's how I like to see it. These columns of one's the column for the true, and one's the column for the illusion. The thing is, the thought system of the truth is also an illusion. It's a temporary thing. It's given to you while you want that thought system of fear given to you. So that's the choice. It's like, which one of these thought systems is your guide? That's why it's teaching and learning, because it's thoughts. See how thoughts teach and learn? You learn thoughts, you teach thoughts. That's all it is. So it's like, you choose. Is it this thought system or is it this thought system? That's what you're teaching and learning. So, and you can tell which one you're in by how it feels. You tell which one you're in by how it feels. And if you're feeling really crappy too, remember, you cannot get yourself out of that. You cannot get yourself out of that. You can't just take on a better feeling thought, so to speak, like try to choose a better thought, as in, oh gosh, I hope I don't go bankruptcy. Oh, no, everything's good. It's all good. It's all good. It's more like this, oh no, whatever it is that's coming up, and there's asking for a reinterpretation of that, just in asking for a reinterpretation of that. What's given you that is actually healing are thoughts that are outside of the self you made, completely outside of the self you made. So the thoughts are beyond the world. They're coming from beyond the world. Aloha, Elkie. I appreciate you. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, but you can let me know. I think on Facebook it says Elkini. They're both really cute. Thank you. Elka. Okay. That's fun. Elka. So the choice is clear. The choice is clear when it's really clear. There's not, because it's not a choice between things in the illusion. It's not like, should I do this or this? Should I think this or this? Is this a better thought than this? It comes from outside of the illusion. So it's like you're just asking for the one who knows who you are. Because in the moment of an upset feeling, you don't know who you are. You've made yourself into a separate thing. So trying to fix yourself from the place of a separate thing, it's not going to work. But recognizing that there's nothing really to fix, it's just that you have an interpretation that's wrong. There's nothing to fix because nothing's broken. You just have an interpretation that something's wrong, and you're asking for another interpretation. You can't just say nothing's wrong and believe it from that point. That's why you're asking for another interpretation where you can know the truth, where you can know that you're whole, you're always whole. Bob would like to come on. Come on, Bob. I'm promoting you to panelists. I know you like to go there. Anyone else likes to go to panelists? Let me know. You can raise your hand and I'll open up your mic. Aloha, Malcolm. Thank you for joining, my love. I appreciate you. Okay, I don't see Bob. We'll go forward some more. Looks like he's trying to get here. We'll see what happens. So you cannot get what you want by getting something in the world. That's just not the way it works. It's the other way around. In fact, thinking that you want something in the world, the thought that you want something in the world, that's actually an effect. That's actually just an effect of wanting what you already have, thinking that you don't have it. See, that's a distraction. The wants on the surface, they're like a distraction to keep you from noticing that you actually want yourself who's already here. To keep you from noticing that. Because the thought that you separated yourself from reality is a thought that you presently want to keep. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to perceive in separation. You have to admit to that. You have to admit to that. And when you admit to that, it makes you very alert so you can see where it is. You find out where it is. I see in myself all the time how all these different ways manifest that thought that I need separation. I need separation. All the different ways it manifests. Oh, I have to unmute you, Bob? Okay. Allow, oops. That's it. Okay, unmute. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, I think I have my video on. Can you? Oh wait, I gotta try my videos on this thing.
There he is.
Okay, yeah. So, ooh, I hear thunder in the distance.
Yeah, we got thunder going. It might start pouring. This is so fun.
Right. Yeah, we're probably hearing the same thunder. You're just a few miles away.
Yeah, Anne's excited too. She's here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that lightning and thunder is the most exciting thing there is. So,
oh yeah.
okay. Guess I gotta look that way. So yes, it's wonderful to share in this space of love. You know, the wisdom dialogues that we have at Michelle's, and then the wisdom dialogue that we have here that's open to the whole world, to all humanity to participate in. It's when you want to have a definition of love, for me, the most important definition is space, the space of love. Love is a space
Right.
that includes and embraces everything and everyone. It's an omnipresent space, the one and only space, infinite, eternal, timeless, uh, and and all embracing and real. It's a real space, not the fake space. Not 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 something phony. It's something very genuine, very real, very true. As you were saying, that you have your two pillars. One is the negative, the devil and fear, and one is love. And so then our space is supported by those pillars of love. And so then the space that we're generating right here and now in this webinar is going out to the whole world. The whole world is invited to call in and participate, no matter where they are on the other side of the globe, in China or whatever, that there's this beautiful space that we get to share in, and you generate that love, that true authentic love, that we can all participate and share in the space that you generate through your mind, through your being, and that we can all plug into and tune into and participate with. So thank you very much for always creating this space of love for us.
Hooray! Well, thank you for joining, Bob. I appreciate you. So
Yeah, I was out in the
that.
garden. Yep, go ahead.
Let's talk about that space. Like, how do you like say create? You're saying creating the space, okay? So basically, what that means is you're taking care of everything. You know, you're taking care of everything that arises within your perception. It's like you're not pushing at anything. You're not pushing anything away. It's like your heart is opening and you're enveloping everything. You're just enveloping all of it, all of what it is, instead of trying to push it away. And and pushing it away is it's accepting any thought that says something is wrong or someone is doing something, or they're a disappointment, for instance. They haven't lived up to their obligations. They're unethical. That that something shouldn't be there. Watch, it's an energetic thing. You can see it's almost like there's less space in the body's energy field, you can say, which is really in the body's energy field. That's where the whole projection of the world is coming from. So it's like when there's less space here, it's projecting a world with less space. It's a body's energy field is like the projector. It's like projecting outward. So you can sense where you could say the blockages are. And it's not like you need a physical massage. You can get one. That's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to matter. That's the thing. It just doesn't matter. Yeah, you can have some yoga and different things like that. But I'm talking about a different kind of a blockage. I'm talking about an energetic blockage that where, the body's energy field, that first projection of the mind is indicating mental stagnation. You could say it's defensiveness. Okay, that's what it really means. When there's a stagnation or something, it's these veils of thought put up and make it so that you don't see the truth. Okay, so that's what's going on, and there will be a contraction in the body's energy field. So if your attention is on that and letting there be space there, is just a matter of meeting any kind of tension with kindness. Kindness. Okay, and that's a really big one. Speaking of teaching and learning, it's like, wouldn't you teach and learn kindness? And that's something. I'll give you an example too. I was camping this past weekend, and I've had this little staffy thing down on my ankle for like a week or something like that. It looked like it was doing pretty good. So I ended up at Volcano doing a hike, and I'm hiking way back up. Come back from the hike, the thing is all inflamed. And I come back up, it's all purple and stuff. Anyways, I tell my friend, and it's looking good, by the way. Anyone who got a little twinge of concern for me or anything is looking really good right now. Before I even go on. But anyways, all of a sudden, I'm sitting there and I'm with my friends and I'm having a good time and everything, and all of a sudden, this sense of dread comes over me. And what I mean by that is there's this sense, there's a body sense of okay, and so it's like as soon as there's a sense of that, I'm watching what kinds of thoughts are manifesting here. What are the thoughts that are manifesting? And when I'm watching them, well, they're getting really dark. The thoughts are getting really dark, and there's just this kindness with them. There's just this kindness with those thoughts. It's just like no problem. It's like, oh, how does that feel? Oh, how does that feel? Oh, how does that feel? And these things, they come in waves like this, and this is how you make the space, you could say. It's like you meet these things instead of trying to get rid of them and trying to kick them out to make the space, because that's not how it works, because they always just keep on coming back and they don't really go anywhere. It's almost like you cover them up and think that you kicked them out. Maybe you could say you painted them white. You painted the blackness white to give you a sense of temporary relief, but you have not kicked them out. Okay, so to make the space, it's like you meet these dark thoughts, notice how it feels, and it's like a kindness with it. It's not the way the ego projects it. It's as if there's a problem with it. As if there's some kind of problem with these dark thoughts. There's no problem with those thoughts. There's no problem with them. They're to make you aware of something. They're for making you aware of something. How do you become aware of them? You get curious. To become aware of it, you get curious. Oh, what is this showing me? Not, oh my God, what's going to become of me? But even behind that thought of, oh my God, what's going to become of me, that's where you are. You're before all the thoughts. You're before all of the thoughts. And making that choice before all of the thoughts, not in thought, but before all of the thought. It's a choice between two thought systems, see? It's like this. A thought occurs to me. Oh my God, what if this goes to, it gets super infected, and then it's like this, and then my leg falls off, and then I'm broke, and then la 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 la, like that. See? It's like, and that's just allowed to be what it is, and the curiosity behind that. It's like a curiosity behind that. It's not a thought that, it's not choosing another thought in the illusion would just kind of be like, okay, let me look for a better thought. Oh, everything's going to be okay. This thing's going to clear up. I'm going to be all right. That's the choosing thoughts in the illusion. Okay? Making a choice for the thought system outside of the illusion, that's just willingness to not be in condemnation of what is arising. It's meeting that, whatever is arising, just where it is. It's sort of like an opening in the body's energy field to embrace that. Yay.
Yeah, well, that's what
Go ahead.
what the space is. It's an embracing. So then you can have a staph infection, and maybe then instead of, you could just go right to embracing any symptom I have. My first thought is sending love to it, not saying, oh God, I've got this symptom, was this going to get worse. It's like, it's my body, I feel like, is like my child. My physical body is like my child. It's like you see everyone is your child. Well, I feel like my body is my Bobby, my little Bobby. And so whenever I get a pain or something, that's my little Bobby needing some comfort, needing some love, like you say, kindness and everything, instead of thinking, oh, Bobby's going to get worse. I say, body, I love you. You know, any problem is just a call for love. So then, but then you can have a physical symptom and then think the worst, but then you give your love and your kindness to that thought. And then you stop there with the thought, and you say, I will say to myself, well, this thought is not love. It's not what is going to bring healing. And then because I become conscious and aware of the thought, then that's what transforms it. You just get on kind of a negative thought pattern, and you unconsciously, it's kind of like a snowball effect. It gets worse and worse and more negative and more fearful. And you just stop that momentum and take a breath and give that thought love. And then you're able to give whatever physical symptom love, because whatever symptom you're having, it's all coming from your mind. Your mind is projecting your body.
Yeah.
So then I can project love into whatever problem or symptom my physical body might be having. And yeah, I'm pretty symptom free. I have, a few little minor little
Well,
itchy spots.
that kind of stuff doesn't matter. That kind of stuff really doesn't matter.
It,
Whether you're
it does.
symptom free, you got a symptom. If you got a body, you got a big fat symptom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Your
if you
body
love and if you love the body, you're making the symptom real. That's another part of it. Okay.
well,
You're making the symptom
to
real.
the body, it's not just not my physical body, it's the whole universe is one body. All of humanity, everything that you
Yes.
perceive is
Yes.
of one
So that's
body.
why it would be irrelevant whether or not you're having any symptoms. Because there's symptoms all over
Yeah,
the place
well,
around.
it's right, but then you love those symptoms. That's the difference. Are you afraid
Well,
of where those
that's
symptoms are
not
going
what
to
I'm
lead,
saying.
or
Hang on now, that's not what I'm saying. You don't you know if you love the symptoms, what's the love about a symptom if it's unreal? There's nothing there to love. There's nothing there. It's not real. It's not real. You're seeing an illusion. Do you want a correction? Do you want a correction in your mind? Or do you want to make more illusions? That's what it comes down to. Do you want the correction or you want to make more illusions? See, there is not that, it's like there isn't any real symptom. There isn't really any staph or whatever kind of physical symptom that may be appearing to you, pain or whatever, anything like that. What's being shown to you is what's not true. Not true. Okay? There's a reason for it and you have a purpose in it. You have a purpose in it, and that's for seeing through everything that's being presented to you as not true instead of automatically.
whether it's good or bad, huh? Whether it's a healthy body or a sick body, it's
That's
still a
right.
body.
That's right. And when you have a symptom, an apparent symptom other than the body, like another symptom on the body, there are a lot of dark thoughts that come along with that. And the great thing about all those dark thoughts coming along with it is they give you so many opportunities for seeing through this thought of separation and the different ways that it comes about. Okay, there's all these different ways it comes about. Even when you're looking for something to put on it. Let's say you're looking for something to put on find yourself looking for something, any kind of attachment to how it's going to go or anything like that. You're just watching and feeling it, watching it, not condemning it. That's how the only way to stay present, the only way to stay aware of how this consciousness is playing out is to step back, take a step back especially from all those condemnations of yourself where, it's like for instance, letting the thoughts spin and spin and spin and spin. It's okay, let them spin. You don't have to try to stop them. Let them spin. When you get some space from them, which basically means you're allowing them to make ripples in your body's energy field without pushing on them, but with an embrace, like with an embrace. See, it's an embrace, and what you're embracing is the energy of it, because that thing that you perceive isn't real. But you're not embracing the staff per se, but the feeling that it triggers in you when you look at it, when you think about it. There's a feeling. Yeah, and that's not being disregarded this time. That's like the base of the pattern. You can say that's the base of the pattern within the illusion. And when you're willing to just embrace how that's moving, it's a sense. It's coming to you as a sense. The sight of a staph infection is a sense, perceived first in the body's energy field, well, perceived first in the mind, and then in the body's energy field, and then in the world, as in on your leg, for instance. See? So the embrace is really energetic. It's in the body's energetic field. And then the embrace is also, it comes in that thought, that thought system that comes from love. It shows you that, it reveals to you that this isn't the truth. And so you could be happy with any of the outcomes. It's not like you need to try to push them away. I'm happy to get the sense that, oh my God, my entire leg could fall off. Great. I'm happy to get that sense. See, I can get the sense right now. I don't have to try to push that away. That's what it is. People will get a sense of something that scares them, and then they'll try to push it away. I don't have to try to push it away. I'll get the sense of the whole thing is going to fall off and be happy to get that sense. And it's funny because then, when there's a willingness to just get the sense, it seems to me, in my experience anyways, the worldly solutions just line up. The apparent worldly solutions just line up. All of a sudden, here's what you need to put on it. Oh, okay. And then that seems to work. Although I know it doesn't really work. That's why I'm not going to go around and tell people, hey, if you have it, you need to put this on. Someone told me that. Someone told me that. And I was very grateful that they told me that. Because it was apparently the thing. But it's always, what can the mind accept without fear? So it's like, instead of trying to run myself ragged with worrying about it, there's just this willingness of taking any kind of worry and letting it be transformed. I can't let any worry be transformed if I'm believing the thoughts that are making the worry justified. But if I'm not believing the thoughts that are justifying the worry, then I can just use the worry to transform it. You could say to heal the underlying cause of it, which is really what the transformation is. Hey, you didn't ask for advice, but I will say, pour strong Pau d'Arco tea over it. Oh, you're so... Thank you so much. LOL, there's no Pau d'Arco or body, but if there were a body, I would suggest that for any infection. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, I have the hand of Molly. This is so fun. Molly.
Hi.
Yay. Do you want to be on the panel as a panelist and come on camera?
Sure, I'm quote unquote sick in bed, so you can see me.
I love seeing you as if you're sick in bed. It's hilarious. It's funny that we can see the impossible. That is like a huge magic trick to be able to see the impossible. Of course, sickness is impossible, and then people show up sick when the mind is split. Okay? Whether it seems to be on your body, that's not relevant. I've said that a bunch of times before. Whether it seems to be on your body, here's the thing. You cannot conceive of it. You are not able to conceive of it. You know, that's why in the stories of Jesus, his mind being healed, any sickness was presented to him and it was immediately gone. See, it's like the healed mind can't suffer, the healed mind can't perceive of sickness. That's how you know you still have some undoing, you still have some forgiveness to ask for, you can say. And, you know, for those of you that have a tough time with forgiveness, I know I have one friend who listens on here, has a hard time in hearing the word forgiveness. And, you know, let's say to resolve it, okay? I know that some words can be triggers for people. And, you know, if you're one of the people that are having triggers with the world, with any words, and you like to practice awareness and you're into this kind of thing, use that trigger. Go within with it. And then if you're not ready to use the trigger, just substitute the word. You hear forgiveness, put resolve. Forgiveness, resolve. I'm not talking about the worldly kind of forgiveness anyways. Like you did that and now you need to make a reparation for it, and then when I see that you've been a good boy or girl, then I forgive you. That's one way to do it. But you know, the way that the spirit is calling, and you know, the spirit really, that's you, that's who you are. It's leading you back to what you want for forgiveness, is you know, getting a new interpretation. Once you see what the illusion really is and who you really are, you'll have a completely different interpretation, to where you just know you're 100% clear that nothing has been done. Especially, nothing has been done to you. Nothing has been done to you. Nothing has been done to anyone else that you feel loving toward. You know, forgiveness is basically what I thought happened didn't really happen. I projected that. Yay. Molly, let me put you on. Unmute. I have to unmute you twice, apparently.
That's what I was going to say. I couldn't unmute myself.
Yeah. There you are, apparently sick in bed and looking beautiful as ever.
I wanted to tell you, you look so beautiful. Your hair, wow.
My hair's popping, yeah?
It's just so long and lustrous and like, you know, like old princess kind of. I just get this classic princess harp.
How fun.
Oh,
How fun. Thank you for vibing me like that.
normally I have to teach at this time, so because I get to enjoy myself in my bed today, then I get to be on Wisdom Dialogues.
I love that.
So I'm super stoked. It was really fun. I apparently got food poisoning.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday I was dealing with some mold issues from visiting a friend, and then also just emotional stuff that I was sensing in the field, really heavy, like just maybe unprocessed emotions in the field. And then I was really clear, like I've been doing more like intuitive eating, just what feels like what I need to eat. And it was super clear that I needed to go to this Thai restaurant in Waikoloa and get curry. I was like, I checked in with myself like 3 times and like, that's exactly what my body wants. And then, and so like, I feel good about the whole thing, because rather than be like, oh, fuck, like, I can't believe I ate that shit, that's so stupid. I was like, oh, this is like so perfect, you know, it has to be. And, but I woke up in the middle of the night and, you know, just like vomiting and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, is that Thai curry? And then I was like, but I thought of you and I was like, no, the effect can't have an effect. So it's really my mind. And then, a lot of beautiful things came to me around family, and I called my mom in the middle of the night, and that made me feel really a lot better. And I felt how useless my dad would be. And like, you know, that kind of maybe that wound around like him, you know, that just feeling of having somebody, and like if I could even ask for his help. And then I talked to a friend that there was this comfort in like, oh, you really were experiencing the cosmic cosmic father's love. And I felt that, like, I started to feel like what it felt like to have that, you know, and to have that, the cosmic father's love, and just to have like this sense of family, of like, you know, like, yeah, just this sense of the beauty of family. And I felt passion for people who are sick alone. And I know that was like part of the illusion that I was experiencing, for sure. So I felt these moments of like dismal, like, can you imagine being all sick alone? And I kind of knew that was just like coming up for me, process. And then today I just apparently received a lot of like support and love. And I feel the sense my body has now is just this really yucky ick inside, like this lingering like bacteria, parasite stuff, you know. So I feel really good. I feel like I process a lot of the emotions too, but my body still has there's still this body sense of like yuck and, yeah, like separation, like attack, or this like, yeah, sick. And then I heard on the radio, like, they're like talking about the flu, and some people like the flu because you get to be home. And I'm like, it was, and then you guys, when you're talking about that, I was just like, whoa, it was really cool to see that's kind of what's up today.
That's awesome that they're talking about that on the radio, because all sickness is a device of the ego. It's like that's one way you can get out of doing things. And I've noticed that ever since I was a kid, you know. It was like nice to get that rest. Like when you get sick, you get a rest from all the daily kinds of, you know, whatever bullshit is going on. It's like, I got a good excuse. I'm sick over here. So,
Yeah.
you know, for the ego, that's a really good way to keep the body as if it's real. It's like, I need this sickness. And it's like making the body into something and making it seem like the mind is trapped too. The mind is not trapped. The mind is free. The mind's always been free to accept what's so real, what's so right here.
Yeah. And also, I was talking with someone the other day, that phenomenon of people who are chronically ill, and there's this term in psychology where they don't get better because they become really attached to the care that they get, or the excuses, or the free passes, or the dependency. So
Right.
the mind creates that to get these, and that's what came up with me for like family, was like this thing of I need family, or I love, I so appreciate family. It's like this sickness brought that need up, or something, that apparent need.
There's also the idea that you need sickness to clean yourself out.
That's
that one.
That's
Detoxification, for instance, you know, it's like you need it for something, or you need it to learn something. You don't need sickness for anything. You don't even need sickness to learn. There is no such thing as sickness. It's like, if you are projecting it, if you are projecting any sickness anywhere, not just on your own body, I mean anywhere, if you are projecting sickness, it's just for that one purpose. That's just for seeing through, and it's really just the same as health. It's really just the same. That's why it's completely meaningless. When you come back to making it so that you see that the whole body is meaningless, which is also connected to the whole world, which is meaningless, and its only purpose is so that you can see yourself as you really are, whole and innocent and pure, and see everyone that way, see everyone as yourself, then it doesn't really matter emotionally whether or not you're sick or you have a staff or anything like that. So if you're going through it while watching these shifts in emotion, you're using that perception for healing, and that's why it's not sick at all. It's perfectly well. That's why you can say all is well.
But I still have a sense of
yeah, and that's why, but that's only why you give it to yourself. You give yourself that sense. Remember, it's always for teaching and learning. in your own mind. And you know, you could say even if you find yourself sick a whole lifetime, at the end of the lifetime, you're going to realize that the whole lifetime was nothing. It doesn't matter. Use it for one thing. Don't be concerned about, you know, like concern. I know I did a post like this, like maybe like a week ago or something like that. Concern for the body leads to sickness and death. Don't. What are you gonna say?
That's what led up to this.
Yeah. Even the thought. Look at this too, Molly. Like whenever it seems like your body wants something, you know, this is really common too, and it's, you know, one step toward it's definitely a step in the direction towards seeing that the body is an illusion. But first comes, my body wants this, like my body is talking to me. Don't attribute any intelligence to the body. No, it is not one bit intelligent. It doesn't want anything. It doesn't know wanting, because it's only a projection of the mind. And you know, when you get the thought that your body wants that, that is not a true thought. That is not a true thought. That's the mind. That's the mind's projection. That's the mind's projection. It's not in love. You don't have a body that wants anything, because you don't have a body in the first place. But you know, it's like even when you see yourself saying, my body wants, it's okay. You just notice behind that, before that thought, that what you just said, it doesn't reconcile with the truth. If you check in, you can feel that. If you check in, you can sense that. Oh, now the body's my boss and I got to listen to it. This is pretty funny. I better get that right. Let me make sure I listen to my body correctly. You know, it just, you only have one choice to make. You only have one choice to make, and that's between truth and illusion. What your body needs is part of the illusion, and that's working out all by itself. So it doesn't matter if you say it. It's just that you understand, you know within yourself what it means if that's real, what it means if that's really true. For instance, the body having its own intelligence, you know, so it's like looking past that. Also, um, things, other things that kind of like break the body down into smaller things, and they seem to be at work. Bacteria, parasites, probiotics, all those kinds of things. That's all making the body real. You know, here's what I recommend, as many of us find ourselves in conversations where this is coming up all throughout the day. Watch attentively. Watch attentively as you're talking about these things, as if they're real. As if they're real. Watch what you're teaching. Watch what you're learning. Okay, because all these ways of trying to get it so the body's really healthy. I think we've seen that. I think the people are on Wisdom Dialogues have seen that play out quite enough to realize that that's not going anywhere. All these different, oh, I know exactly the right way. Here's the right thing. This thing does this, and all that kind of, you know, I have an essential oil company. It makes it really fun and funny for me, you know, because it's all like these essential oils do these things. Those essential oils don't do anything to you. They do nothing to you. You know, from my point of view, you could say that what you're buying is something that you can use to make it look like, make a magic, something good smelling and fun to use, and make it look like you're doing a magic trick. You're just thinking of the essential oils. Perfect. No wonder. No wonder that came to me to talk about that. Thank you. Our minds are not separate, you know. Yeah, and when you keep that in mind, you start to see more and more how they're not separate. You start to see, you know, you've heard people talk about synchronicities. You start to see more synchronicities because our minds aren't separate. We're picking up on everything, and when we think in any kind of negativity of a person, any kind of negative way of a person, they pick up on that, they feel that, and they are you. They are you. So be super careful and alert. And it's only thing you're being careful about is about being alert. See, you're not the one who has to choose between two thoughts, let's say. But you are the one who chooses between truth and illusion. So when thoughts are occurring to you and you let them just occur to you without giving them the power over you, they have no karma, so to speak. That means you can sit there for an hour or more, days even. It doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter how long, but it does seem to pass quicker with a thought that something very terrible is happening. You can let it roll on and on and on, kind of like lean into it, but at the same time having some detachment to it. It's going to have no karmic effects. It's going to have no karmic effects, and you're going to get all kinds of healing with that. So don't be afraid of these thoughts. Don't be afraid of these dark thoughts, to let them go ahead and run their course with you watching them.
Right. A lot that came up was like, I let these thoughts run around this person, and where I was like, this person is like, you know, or even with my dad, just like where this person is wrong, or I'm a victim to blah, blah, blah. And then really like letting that thoughts run the course. And then by the end, I was able to see like, through dialogue where that like how that victim mentality was coming up, and like how the people in my awareness are actually like innocent. And like, so that was like a huge clearing around my own victim mentality. And then I also noticed yesterday, like, oh my God, why do I have wrinkles? Like, how do I stop them? And what did I do to put them there this young, and all this stuff? And like, there was sense, like what I'm doing is having this effect. And then now that we're talking, I almost feel like these things are like randomly occurring. And another example is like, I've been watching, like, why is my body getting so fit from like working out? Like, I actually don't feel like that's even possible. Like, just like, it's kind of odd. It's like starting to see that things don't have that cause and effect the way the whole world says that they do.
Uh-huh.
You know, which is victim, right? Cause and effect makes you really a victim.
Yes, and you know, speaking of exercise, you know, the less you think that exercise affects your body, this is what I noticed, the more of an effect the exercise seems to have. It's so freaking weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah. When I thought that stuff was real and it really had an effect, not only was it a lot of pressure, you know, on me to perform and make sure I do exercises so I can have a rocking body, but it didn't work very well. I always felt like I was working so hard and not getting any results.
Now I'm just exercising because it's my job to teach these classes, and it's like I'm not forcing myself to do. I just find myself doing it,
right?
And then just find my body showing me like this something. Yeah. And now I'm already starting to feel like the sense inside of me is not. I'm not feeling that as much anymore. It's really cool.
Yeah, notice how it shifts a lot. That's another awareness. Just noticing how everything is so shifty, you know. It's like always like there's these random, it really is random thoughts occurring to you, you know. Well, let's say it's not that random though, because it's carefully, it's really is carefully manifested so that you can see through it. But from an individual, personal perspective, they're just random, you know. From those perspectives that you're looking at the world, you know, if you're looking at it as a person, as if these thoughts are meaningful, they're not meaningful in that way at all. They're carefully crafted for you to see through. So everything, you know, if you watch the feeling like that sense, like, oh my God, I've got too many wrinkles, that sense, and then the what do I do about it? Then there's all that pressure on yourself. This is such a habit, you know. If you'll get the sense, if you'll just get that sense and not go along with any of the concern as if it's real, you know, just in getting curious about, well, what is this sense that seems to be coming up around wrinkles, you know, and you'll start seeing all these different thoughts, and you know, it's death. It's basically death speaking. We need to look past that. We need to look past that, but in order to look past it, we have to really embrace it. It's like we have to meet it face to face.
Yeah, that's, my mind went to like, oh, well, like, and I saw myself as this like old medicine woman, and I was like, cool, you know, like, not to like put a positive thought in a negative one, but it was the sense of like, oh, well, like, you can be happy with wrinkles. That's the point. Like, it's okay.
Right.
Like, isn't the goal to have love and happiness? Yeah. So like, wow, you don't need a smooth ass face to be like love, you know, to feel that love and joy in your life.
Yeah.
But there's
Well,
an idea that if I don't,
you are that love and joy, and that's why. And so whatever's going on with the illusion, it's there to try to deny that.
yeah,
You see, before wrinkles, it was something else.
yeah. I need this. This has to happen in order for me to be okay. Like, or in order for me, yeah. Or this can't happen. This is bad. This is good.
Right.
Woo.
Exactly. It's just another one of those showing up in a different form. That's all.
Yay.
Yay. I love you. I'm so happy to see you.
I love you.
Yeah, so glad you can join.
Bob Anon made me peppermint tea.
Oh, hold on. Let me unmute him. Okay, say that again, Bob.
All right. Oh, yeah. No, I heard her. Isn't that sweet? So you guys are still at the house in Waikoloa, huh? Your parents aren't there yet?
Not yet. December 1st. I think they found a place, but we'll see.
You found a place?
No, they did. I'm going to stay with my parents for a little while.
Oh, I see. So Anon and Zoltan have found a place, or what?
They need to move out December 1st, and it's been not necessarily easy to find a place, so I think they will.
Oh, okay. They want to stay in the area there, right?
Yeah. We're enjoying it over here. We're hustling.
Okay, moving on. Wisdom dialogue.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
I love you.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Bob gets into a whole combo. You guys are that's great. I love you. Thank you. Okay. So I have a question here. Amy, okay. How do you deal with people that show up in your awareness to argue, or those who don't like what you are saying or what you are about? Oh, the same way as anyone, Amy. It's the same as anyone. So it's just like anything that gets a triggered reaction within me. And, you know, I could say, I know if you're saying, how do you deal, then you're talking about a triggered reaction. See? There aren't really those people. There aren't really those people. There's a triggered reaction inside of you. And when you're gentle, when you're kind and gentle with that triggered reaction, then you know exactly how to heal with people who show up like that. See? You heal with them instead of deal with them. That's the difference. If you think you're dealing with them, then you're not allowing any healing with them. See? Or those who don't like what you are saying or what you are about. Yeah, it's just it's only for that triggered reaction. And you could say, I give that to myself. I give that to myself so I could see through. If you can't find this on Facebook and you want to find it on Facebook, go to Wisdom Dialogues Online, the group. Yes, it's called Wisdom Dialogues Online. It's my group. Yeah. Yes, heal with them. So if you if you think that they need something other than love, which is given to yourself, then you're dealing with them. See? So anything that gets a triggered reaction within you is for you to allow healing. You could say it's a call for love coming from within yourself, looking as if it's coming from another person. Even any kind of, they don't like what you're saying, that's your call for love. That means you take care of the upset feeling that's arising. First, take care of the upset feeling that seems like it's your upset feeling. See? And then look at, and then if you cannot take care of your upset feeling, it's going to seem like there's an upset feeling coming from another person, such as anger. All right? So take care of that feeling. The anger, it's actually being projected from within you. Their anger that you perceive, it's projected from within you. That's why you can allow that space for it to heal. What are you going to do with that anger? What are you going to teach yourself? And what are you going to learn in response to that anger? Are you going to teach yourself that you have to find some way to deal with it? Are you going to teach yourself like that? Or are you going to teach yourself that it's okay? Let it be embraced. In that instance, that's where the love can come in and really communicate through you. Can communicate through you. That's when you're being fed by that thought system that aligns with love. You're being fed by that, and then the truth is being communicated through you. I always know when the truth isn't being communicated to me. I can feel it right away. You know, if I say something, and I can also tell by their reaction. It's like automatic. It's automatic. Their reaction is, it's not like you have to try to change their reaction. It's not like you should be walking on eggshells trying not to get a bad reaction from them. But just in watching their reaction and with your willingness to go within, you're teaching yourself that this is not a threat. That's what you're learning. You're learning that this is not a threat. And then eventually nothing's a threat. You can take anything. You can embrace anything. And it's all right. And if a person's angry with me, I know I saw one thing on Facebook. It said, oh, it was a good one. It was funny. If you got a beef with me, that's one-sided because I don't give a shit. And I'm like, yes, you do. That's why you're posting that thing on Facebook. I didn't write that in the comment, but you know. But you know, that's a fact. It's like, yes, you do. You feel it. You do it. You know, you feel them. You feel them. It's like, you know, and so what I did write in the comments is, if you have a beef with me, I'm going to be taking care of that feeling that's arising inside of me. I'm going to be taking care of that upset feeling that's arising inside of me. It's not like, okay, you're upset all over there. That's all about you. You're lying to yourself. You're covering it up. Oh, you're welcome, Amy. Thank you. I appreciate the question. That was awesome. That was a question about dealing with people. So I have a couple things. Elka, I love the cadence of that. That's great. I can say that again and again. What is the secret to happiness? It's knowing who you are. That's the only secret. Just knowing who you are. And the secret to knowing who you are is willingness to step off of who you think you are, what you made yourself to be, what you already taught yourself. You know, you'll be taught automatically And you'll be able to teach automatically, allowing yourself. That's why learning is really it's like learning it. I think it's better to say it. Learning is learning and teaching, because it's like if you're willing to learn the truth, and that's what you teach. But for the most part, there's not this willingness to learn it. It's like the willingness goes to wanting to relearn what we already taught ourselves. That person is a complete asshole, and they're never going to change. See, there he goes doing that shit again. Oh, there it is again. You know, and so there's this wanting to learn the same thing we already taught ourselves. You know, like for this fear that we're going to lose who we are or something. And as soon as there's willingness to have that reinterpreted, that's where the truth starts to be spoken. I do not argue with fools. I disagree. Yeah. No need. There's nothing to disagree with. There's just absolutely nothing to disagree with. Someone tells me, "Hope, you're full of shit." It's like, okay, thank you for letting me know. You know, there's nothing for me to disagree with there. It's true. It's actually true. Hope, who you think I am, completely full of shit. Who I think I am, completely full of shit. So it's all made of thought. It's all made of thought. Anything that looks like it's full of shit is something you're not seeing clearly. It's not possible for, you could say, the Son of God, one way of saying it, and everyone is that, to be full of shit. But what we see of them, yes. Yes. And if I have a problem or any kind of argument or disagreement with you, I'm happy to look at that too. It's not a problem. I know that it's not really possible. I'm seeing something that's not even possible. And I think it's pretty funny if the sense of I disagree comes up. You're right. Yes, you're right. Let everyone be right. And you won't have any disagreements. You're right. Hope, you're full of shit. You're right. Hope, I don't like what you're saying. Okay, thank you for telling me. Or, why don't you like what I'm saying? Sometimes people want to tell you why. Why don't you like what I'm saying? Oh, okay, thank you. Once you've felt them, then there's nothing more. That's it. Once you've really felt them. If you haven't felt them and you think you have, they're coming back for more. That's how you know. That's how you know. Okay? Learning and teaching. Exactly. Yay. Yes. Learning, teaching. What you teach, you learn. What you learn, you teach. I've been teaching myself, learning for myself, you could say, for a while, that no one's doing anything in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I know these alerts come up. I don't know how to turn them off. Maybe that'll come to me soon. I don't know. Maybe someone will tell me. The doing. I've been on that one. You know, in different ways I've been on it have been the thought, I need to, or you need to, anything like that. And just like see that one right away. No one needs to do anything. You know, I don't have to even, I just see the thought. I recognize the thought, recognize that it's coming from this need to make me into a doer. And I don't accept it as true. I don't give truth to it. You know. You can say, you know, a way A Course in Miracles says it is bring it to the truth. You could say bringing it to the truth is like just looking upon it. You know, if you don't realize that that's not true yet, that you don't need to do anything, just asking if you could see it differently. I hope I'm wrong that I need to do something. Even that. Hope I'm really wrong about that. But, you know, that's one way of putting pressure on yourself and making yourself into the doer, as if you do things. So that's one of them. I need to. I should have. I would have if the circumstance would have been different. I even find myself speaking stuff like that sometimes. It just cracks me up. There's not a problem with it. It's not like, oh, ooh, I got to change my language. No, my language is coming out to show me what's already been accepted as true in secret. See? So when it comes out, if I'm willing to see through it instead of try to condemn myself and instead of using it as a weapon, trying to condemn myself with it, if I'm willing to just see through it, then it has no effects and it's getting healed. The underlying cause is getting healed. So then over time, my languaging does change, or things like that. They start to dwindle. They don't come up too often. But it doesn't matter how long it's been. When and if or when it appears again, good. It's no problem. There's not a problem with that. As long as we're perceiving an illusion, we're going to have these things come up that associate us as something that we're not. For instance, a doer, someone who does things, a doer of things. And, there's all kinds of people who will help you out with doing, being a doer. Being a doer. Like, for instance, I was walking through the lanai this morning, and it was dark, and my husband's glasses were right next to his computer, and I just stepped right on him with my big old Uggs. And his reaction showed me that I did it. I was like, that I did that. And, it's just like immediately that's just like allowed to be met in the body's energy field. It's allowed to be met with something like that. It's like, oh, there's the sense that I'm doing things. Like, oh, there's the sense that it's me, that I'm actually doing things as an individual. And that sense is just met with kindness. It's not a problem. And then and then I watch as the manifestation just kind of does its thing, and I get those kinds of effects, and it's gentle. It's not harsh at all. It's really gentle, like it says in the Bible. What does it say? My yoke is light, or something like that. Tell me, Bob. Unmute him. Tell me, what is it? Which one am I talking about?
Yeah, I know that, but I can't think of the.
Is it my yoke
word.
is easy and my burden is light? Something like that. Is that the one? All right. Anne doesn't know.
Yeah,
She's been an atheist forever. I just made that up. I don't even know if that's true. The way she's looking at me, it looks like it. It's like, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Light. Thank you, Elka. Yeah. That's why it's gentle. So even when someone is like, seems like they're shocked that you just like stepped on and broke their glasses, it's really gentle. The way the ego is projecting at it as if it's this, oh my God, I'm being accused. Making justifications. Well, you shouldn't have left them in the dark. It was you. No, it was you. It was you. No, it's just like there's, I forgot even what the words were, but it was, it's not like heavy or anything. None of it is. But it's just like there's a reaction, and when you notice the reaction is coming from within you, then it's just easy. It's easeful. It's like, oh, that's what it is. It's not to deny the truth of what is. So no problem. I can handle that. All it is coming up as an energy form. To be met with kindness, that's easy. That's who you are. So, as there's this willingness to undo those doership thoughts, one by one, as they're presented to you, you start to see the synchronicities even in what you appear to be doing. It's so neat how it shows you all these lessons that are coming to you even out of what you appear to be doing. It's like each thing is perfectly aligned, perfectly set up. I had I had an interesting experience camping too. Another camping one is where a boy ran out of our cabin. We rented this cabin, and it has those keys like hotel. You know, I went like that, but it's like a credit card. But they do look like credit cards. You stick them in, you pull them out, makes a little sound. You open the door. Well, one of the little boys ran out, and is like, I go, oh my goodness, were the keys in there? You know, all of a sudden that just came out of me. Were both of the keys in there? And my son goes, yes, they were both in there. And I was like, oh, okay, so we have to go to the front desk, which is a drive away because we're camping, and it's like you sign in for the camping at the hotel. So, okay, we're going to drive. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, my keys are in that room too, and that they're in my purse. So then the next thing you know, I'm over at my friend's cabin saying, hey, I need a ride. And then that looked like it caused all kinds of trouble for my friend or something, asking for the ride, because I'm like, whoa, there's all this. Okay, hold on a second. Just in case, I'm going to go look in the car and see if the keys are in the car. Keys are in the car. Okay, never mind, you guys, the keys are in the car. Drive up to the hotel with my son. My son's 11. He's in the back seat. He wants to go to sleep. He's like, oh, I can't believe this happened. Ah, you know. And like, we get to the front desk. We get up there. We're walking in the rain. It's all cold. This is up in Volcano. We're walking in the rain, and my son goes, "Oh my God, I have the key in my pocket." It's like, oh, awesome. That's even better. So get in the car. Oh, and then I go, you want to get some food? Because he hadn't even eaten. You know, all he's had is like snacks and stuff. And you want to get some food? By that time, it's like 10 o'clock at night. And he goes, okay, yeah, since we're here. So we go in there. Once we go in there, it's like we could tell there's no food. The place is like shut down. Any food anywhere in town? No food whatsoever. So we're driving back, and my son's going, well, or my son said, that was a waste of time. And, you know, immediately it's like, I get the sense that definitely not. I don't say that to my son. I don't even start an argument with my son that it's a waste of time. You know, it's just that there's a sense, because it's all coming from you. It's all coming from you. There's this, oh, that's a waste of time. Okay, interesting. You know, it's all coming from you. And it's allowing that to be there and giving it just like this space, like we were talking about earlier, where you can teach and learn what's really true, where you're open to seeing that, you know, there isn't any kind of time to be wasted. There's nothing like that. It's all for teaching and it's all for learning. So my son goes, sorry, Mom, I made us drive all the way over there. And, you know, of course, I go, hey, it was perfect. I love it. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Because I am. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I love it. It's perfect. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And, you know, it's like, that's it. There's where the teaching is. That's it. It's like there's this thing that comes up that makes it look like someone's guilty. First, it was the sense that the boy who ran out of the room and locked the door behind him, he was guilty, you know. That's the way it's being made manifest. Like, he did it, you know. Why did he do that? It was so careless, you know. That's the sense. And it's like, no, that's not it. And then when the key's found in my son's pocket, it's like he gets the sense, oh, the whole thing's been avoided if I just knew my key was. No, this is fun. We're having fun. That's the thing. That's what it takes all the guilt off of it. There's not anything you can do differently so this doesn't happen next time. I don't play with that at all. I don't play with it. It's not true. What's it for? It always comes back down to what it's for. If there's something you can do differently so that this doesn't happen next time, you know what? That's making you guilty. That's not protecting you in the light of the truth of who you are. And, you know, that's something that I talk about in my book, Protecting Innocence, as it is for kids. But this is the same if it seems to be in an adult body. To me, that's a kid too. So however the spirit comes to me, whether it comes to me as a kid or in an adult body, I'm going to take it the same way. And it's like, no, you have done nothing. You have done nothing, and whatever it is that you seem to have done, that's right, that's perfect for me. And then on the other hand, if someone says, hey, Hope, you have done this to me, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to argue with you. And if I've done anything, and if I've done anything, if you see that I've done anything that makes you upset, I take complete responsibility for that, and I apologize. See? Because you arising like that, you having that perception and arising in my perception as if you're having that perception, that's also my doing. And I have no intention of harming you, although the ego does. And from time to time, I find myself identifying with the ego, and that's why I can have perceptions of people being upset by me. Isn't that fun? Yes, my love, you are unmuted. Wait, did I unmute you?
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday that I was driving to go get the food that I had this real strong feeling I've thought about this before, but it's like the whole world is set up to avoid this punishment, to avoid bad things from happening. And I really connected that's where so much of the fear is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
fear of punishment because of bad things happening, and just had this real moment where I contemplated that. And then so I just wanted to say that was on my mind recently, of this illusion that you have to do something, the doer, to avoid bad things from happening.
Yes, and this world is projected as if it can avoid the worst thing that can happen, which is your death.
That's I think I was thinking about car accidents at the time because I was driving. But it's definitely had to do with death, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like the whole thing is to try to avoid death that you think you deserve. The whole world is to try to avoid death that you think you deserve. But the thing is, you don't deserve death, so you don't need a world. And reality is so much better. The world is to give you the contrast so you can see that the thought of separation is not serving you one bit.
Feels so good right now. Oh. I love seeing through the illusion.
I know, and that's how you know where your teaching that you're accepting is on the right path, because you get these releases, and they're like real releases. It's like it's like there's this sense of a density, and you see through it, and it's like you walk through these doors and you're not going back the other way. You can't just keep on taking the illusion as if it's true to the same degree as you have before. Once you get on the track of looking at the illusion from outside of it, once you get on the track of looking at it like that, that keeps on going, and it keeps on unfolding until there's no more world.
Yeah.
I was sharing with a friend the other day, she's been working so hard to try to create heaven on earth. And, I go, you know what? That's what's hard. That's what makes it hard. When you try to create heaven on earth, you know what you need to do? You need to create everyone else to do it with you.
Right.
That's never going to work. That's never going to work, because it's already, you're already saying that heaven is a fantasy. If you need to create heaven on earth, the reality of heaven is that it is all that's real. And in seeing through the illusion, we're going to uncover the truth. We're going to uncover the real world. Heaven, you can say. We're not going to create it here. If you trying to create it here, that's the ego's game, to try to get other people on board. I just need to teach you how to be. Let me teach you how to be so that this earth will look like heaven, okay? And, you know, those of you who don't want to learn how to have this earth as heaven, I don't know. You're just going to have to go over there. We're going to keep you away from us. The ones of us who want to be, you know, that's a thing. It's like uncovering it is a totally different energy. It's more like if I see you as not creating heaven, I take responsibility for that. And I'm willing to see through that so that I could see who you are, and then, and in that recognize who I am. And in that I can perceive reality as it is, instead of this illusion of reality that we made up. No more make believing. No more make believing. Don't let it. Don't let it. Don't let it pass as if it's true. That's all. You don't need to try to stop it. Just don't try. Don't let it pass you as if it's true. I think that would be called permissiveness in some genres, where you're just allowing these thoughts to say what they say and taking them as if they're true, or trying to stop them. That's the same thing as taking them as if they're true. It's making them meaningful. Like, no, I shouldn't be thinking this or something. If you remember that you're always teaching and always learning, then any thought that occurs to you becomes sort of grist for the mill. Getting the feeling sense of it. Letting yourself learn from the true teacher. Noticing what each sensation is attracting, you can say. Every sensation has a thought, a perception. Every perception is tied to a sensation. And, you know, that's really, it's just all there is. It's all there is to do. If there's any doing there. Taking it in. Whatever it is that's arising, just taking it in. If it's painful, asking for another interpretation. Smiling at it. One friend asked me if it seems like, Hope, I really want you to be honest with me. If it seems like I'm asking you to do too much. And I'm like, well, I have had that sense occur to me that you're asking me to do too much, but I've just smiled at it and it doesn't seem to be any problem. See? There's just not a problem. And it, you know, there's not the thought that someone's asking me to do too much is completely false. I prop them up to ask me things. I prop them up. They can't ask me to do too much. I might have some resistance to saying no. Or saying I'll get to that later. I might have some resistance to that. But that wouldn't be because someone asked me to do too much. Or I might say no, and that wouldn't be because someone asked me to do too much. But I notice, you know, if those thoughts aren't giving any kind of meaning, the yes or no, they just come automatically. There's not a problem. That's what I start to perceive. That's what I've started to perceive. It's like there's no There's no one making these decisions, even whether to say yes or no when someone asks me to do something. There's no one even making the decisions, but there is someone choosing when the thought occurs to me that someone's asking me to do too much. There's a choice to be made there. And that is taking that to be the truth or seeing through it, smiling at it. That has made me smile. I'm not doing anything. I can't be doing too much. I'm not doing anything. I can only perceive myself doing one thing at a time. One of the things I might be doing is, one of the things I might be perceiving myself doing is saying, no, I'm not going to do all that. And then I'll perceive myself doing something else. But just the sense that, that sense of imprisonment, someone's asking you to do too much. And what I notice is that gives me so much energy. It seems like I can do all this stuff. It's funny. I've been really what a lot of people might call productive lately, apparently, on the surface of things. There's been all this busy work, going nowhere, leading to nothing. Actually leading to nothing. But the busy work, the sense of busy work is embraced because of what it's for, just like everything else. Look at all the different reactions. With every moment, it's a different reaction. Just watching the reactions. It doesn't matter what I find myself doing or not doing. It's just watching the reactions. Oh God, I don't want to do this. For instance, that's a fun one. The thought will just occur. It's really funny. The thought will just occur and bring you a feeling, and it's like, oh, this is for the whole world. It's not like it's for you individually, It's like it's for the whole world because we're all one. These thoughts are just like they're like, I heard one guy say, circulating the mind. They're just circular. They keep on going around. They come up. And if you just don't give them any participation, you're not making them meaningful. It's like, oh, that's funny. You might find yourself doing something else. You might find yourself continuing to do that. But the point is that it doesn't matter. And it gets to be shown to you more and more that you're not doing anything when you're willing to see it. And when you see that you're not doing anything, you just don't get affected by what it seems like you're doing. My son's like, hey, Mom, can you take me to the emergency room? One night after I came back from hanging out with my friends, and, it's like I'd been hanging out all day. Hey, Mom, take me to the emergency. It's like room. It's like, oh, all right, cool. This guy feels like he needs to go to the emergency room. Cool, thank you. And it's like fun and no problem. But it can be made into something. Like, oh, I just did all this. I felt really tired. I want to, and it's like those thoughts occur to me and they're smiling at the thoughts. And then that teaches my mind that those don't have any effect on me. And then there's more energy. There's more energy for being at the hospital and having fun. And not having to start a conversation about, why do you think you need to go to the hospital for that little fucking, whatever. I forgot what it even was. I didn't even need to, let's say hangnail just for fun. Why do you think you need to go there for a hangnail? It seems so frivolous. When are you going to see that, whatever? No, it's just like, oh, how fun. It's like a road trip. Hilo's like 45 minutes away. It's like a mini road trip. Get to spend some time with my son. It's fun. It's like we make the story however we want to make the story. It's like, oh, or it's like, woo. And because of what it's for, everything's fun. When you're recognizing what it's for, everything's fun. It doesn't really matter. Yes, even something that seems like it's really tragic, like someone's like completely beat up, let's say, and you're going to see them in the hospital, let's say. Yes, fun. And when you bring the fun to it, it lightens everything up. It's not bringing the fun to it in a defensive way, though. That's the way the ego would bring the fun to it, in a defensive way. It's not really bringing fun, it's bringing pain. It's like, you should be feeling good about this. Around, you know, hey. No, when you really feel good, you're able to relate with people in a way that feels good. You know, you're able to relate with people in a way that's uplifting. Okay. You might find yourself saying something that shocks them for a second, but you don't have to argue with it. You know, I find myself like, the other day I'm sitting with some people and they're talking about how something has an effect on something on the body. And then out pops something like, isn't it funny how it seems like things have effect on the body, but then they really don't? And then there's this big, all of a sudden it seems like they're teaching me something about why things have effect on the body, you know? And then they're just smiling and being like, oh, okay, thank you. See? When you don't have to argue about it, what you're teaching and learning, what you're learning and teaching, another way of saying it, is that concept doesn't need to be defended. And it doesn't need to be defended because it's the truth. As soon as it needs to be defended, you've made it untrue. Basically, you've taken it and made it untrue as soon as it needs to be defended. Because sometimes I'll find myself throwing something out there, but then if there's a sense of defensiveness coming back, and any perceived need to teach me something, then that's just embraced like it is. Of course, I'm not going to learn that. I'm not going to learn that the body is real, you know. I don't accept that teaching like that, but I don't have to argue with it or push against it either. It's no problem. See, when you're believing something, even if it's a spiritual concept, and and you're not really getting it as the truth, you feel like you need other people to believe it with you, and it's like a threat if they don't believe it, if they're taking the body as real. You know when you really got it, when you don't have to argue about it. And just watch as you find yourself arguing about it, and that'll be undone for you. Just let it be undone for you. The big thing is admitting that you don't get it. If you have to argue about it, you don't get it. And then that lets you get it. That's amazing, because you can just step back. It's like, okay, all this is for is learning. And as I learn, the happier I'm going to be. And the learning is getting to know yourself. It's getting to know who you are. And as you get to know who you are, the happier you're going to be. You're teaching happiness and learning it too. You're learning happiness and teaching it too. Okay? So hooray, everyone. If anyone else wants to speak with me, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm winding down. And feel free to raise your hand while I'm winding down. I don't mind. It's good. So you can find all my stuff at hopejohnson.org. All my stuff, like videos. Oh, you're not finding my podcast there, though. Oh, if you want to find my podcast, I think the easiest way for you right now would be to go to SoundCloud and look for Wisdom Dialogues, Hope Johnson. I think they go together. I'm also on iTunes and Spotify now. So check those out. In addition to the Wisdom Dialogues, when I feel like just doing a voice recording, I do it podcast style. And then that goes on so that you can listen. So they're not the same things that are on YouTube, except for the wisdom dialogues. I'm going to take this whole section right here. I'm going to put it into MP3, or no, it just gives it to me like that. I'm going to put it up on those podcast services like SoundCloud, Spotify. I've got one service going, all these different ones. So if you have any podcast service, you could probably look me up and get it. I'm pretty sure. What else? You can still get my book on my website. You can also get an autographed copy of my book if you get it directly from me. There's two options there. Just go to hopejohnson.org and then go to Unschooling for Parents. If you want to look at the group, at the book. Group is coming next. I want to look at the book. I have a group on Facebook, Wisdom Dialogues Online. That's the group to join if you want to get updates on Wisdom Dialogues. I also do a lot of posts there. You can follow my personal page if you want. Unless you like to comment to me, then request my friendship. If I don't know you, send me a message. I don't just accept all the friends. There's a shitload of them coming in. Some of them don't even look like they're actual persons. So, yes. And please feel free to donate. That always helps. And if you want to donate any technical stuff, let me know, because I totally appreciate that. I've been having some really fun stuff done, and I would be interested in having some more fun stuff done with regard to spreading the message. Yay. And I think that's about it. So until next time, it's 3 p.m. Hawaii time. Even when the time changes on the mainland, it's always 3 p.m. Hawaii time on Tuesdays. Mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho. Hooray.
Aloha, mahalo.